So you suggest that emotions are a relatively modern idea, a cultural construction. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, the current term emotion, in the current understanding, kind of comes from a guy in 1900 called Thomas Brown, and he was trying to answer an age-old question, which is how do we separate thinking and feeling? Turns out you can't, but he didn't know that at the time. But he had this idea that this thing that Descartes had talked about and other people, which was known as the emotion, which is how feelings came out of your body. They thought they started in the heart and they motioned outwards and then became an action. And when the passions hit you in your heart, because that's what they called feelings, passions and a few other things, they would then emote outwards. And he's like, hang on, but maybe that feeling, it's a bit like when you see something and you just see it. You don't see an apple and go, I have seen an apple, and then register you've seen an apple. You simply see an apple. So when you feel, say, fear, you don't think, I have felt some fear, and then act. It just comes in and emotes out. So that's what the feeling is. It's an emotion. Mm-hmm. And that is a category of feeling that we have now used, in the West in particular, English speaking, that's this kind of a category of feeling. But it's not the only category of feeling there's ever been. Like I just mentioned, passions. Passions are an old idea that a feeling starts in the sensitive part of the soul, part that feels things and then can affect your mind. But they also had affects, which were the things you thought about and they made you feel a certain way, and then you can affect your body. And they're good things like righteous anger. And there's also sentiments, which were the moral feelings. Someone is morally good, or someone creates beautiful art. You have this sentiment for it. And so there are lots and lots of categories of feelings. It's only now we kind of say, well, there's feelings or emotions, and we use the word interchangeably. And even now we don't. We now know that there's something called moods, and something called temperaments, and something called, frustrations as its own category. Desires is often talked about different to emotions. So even now, emotions is one of many categories of feeling. But we talk about it as if it isn't. So that's why I say it's kind of constructed. It's a box we put certain feelings in.